Hello everybody. So today I'm here to talk about food chemicals and things in processed food, because this last week when I did my video on the laws of attraction and how to help with things, I've also been researching and trying to discover, why do I still keep going to these foods? Why do I keep eating the stuff that's not good for you, and why do I feel terrible about it when I know I shouldn't eat it? Well, this kind of goes along with the laws of attraction as far as applying that to what I've learned this last week. And don't get me, or don't get, I don't have any sort of a degree. I've just been doing this research on my own to figure out what's going to work for me in this journey. So don't hold it against me if you think I'm wrong about something. I just know that this is what's working for me. And if you don't agree with me, you can, do some looking up on your own or talk to a nutritionist or whatever. But this is kind of what I discovered. So there's chemicals in processed food that are addictive, and you're addicted to them, and they taste good. And cookies, crackers, processed cheese and all this kind of stuff that we eat, it sends a signal to your brain to make you want more of them. And I wrote some notes down here because I wanted to remember what I wanted to talk about. And so, because I don't have a degree in any of this stuff, I found it very fascinating what I've learned. So if you see me looking down, that's why. So basically, when we eat these comfort foods, we eat them because we're bored or we're sad or we're happy, we're with family or we're with a get together, and we eat these comfort foods, and they trigger the calming effects in your brain, and it stimulates the dopamine response, and that's, you get a pleasure sensor that makes you feel good when you eat them, but it only lasts for a short time. And then after that, it wears off, and then you feel terrible, and then you start the cycle all over again. And because we use food to cope with so many different things. So it's kind of like a drug in a sense, because if you're eating a lot of processed foods and not healthy, nutrient dense foods, it's going to keep doing that to you, and you're going to still be addicted to all the chemicals and stuff in the food. So, so basically the media is even in on it, and because food manufacturers and companies, they'll spend millions and millions of dollars, that I've found, that to discover the most satisfying level of crunch in a chip, or the most perfect level of fizz in a pop, a certain, whatever. And so just to create that sensation in your brain. Because another thing that happens is when your saliva glands and your taste buds start salivating, that is another trigger to go eat more of the junk and the crap that you're putting in your body. And because when you're sitting on the couch at night, or when you have downtime and you see on TV late at night and they're showing these commercials, you're just going to go, it's going to trigger that response again to go eat something, even though you're not hungry. You could sit there and eat a whole bag of chips, or you can sit there and eat a big chocolate candy bar, or whatever it is that is, your trigger food, and you're not going to feel full. Even though you've ate a ton of calories and all that fat and calories, you're not going to feel full, because your brain is telling you it's so good. And so it's not your fault. So you can't keep beating yourself up and feeling guilty when you keep going back to this. I'm just hoping that some of this information is going to help people to understand that, and that it's really not your fault. You can't beat yourself up when it's like an addiction, because of the chemicals that are in the processed food. And so I kind of lost my notes here. So like when you do, crave something, it's not like you're craving an apple or a piece of celery. You're craving something good that tastes good, because, some of the things I learned too was like, there's a response called a rapid meltdown. So like if you eat ice cream, or you eat chocolate, or things that melt really fast in your mouth and stuff, it's like your taste buds are doing a happy dance, and they're like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm eating this piece of pizza, and it's like just so good in my mouth. And it's you're literally telling yourself, your brain is literally telling yourself that it's so good that it bypasses the full response, even though you just ate a bunch of garbage. So that's kind of interesting that I found out. And the food, those processed foods and things, they're designed to make you want more. I mean, snack foods, like how many people get up and sometimes just, oh, I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal because I feel hungry, or, I'm going to eat a few crackers. Well, you're stimulating the brain's response to wanting more food. I mean, it's kind of, the correlation is amazing to me, and I never even thought about that before. But then you turn into this addiction cycle, so you just eat more and more of it after the feeling wears off. So, I mean, let's face it, food's awesome. I mean, we all love food. We need to eat food, and we want it to taste really good. So, you know, it's around us. We have to have it. So, and it's convenient. I mean, processed food is very convenient. You can go to the grocery store and get a meal in a bag. You come home, you just cook it all up, like Hamburger Helper, or which I don't really like Hamburger Helper, but other foods in a bag, like lasagnas and things like that, of that nature. You come home and cook it. It's convenient, and there you go. It's easy. But they artificially are stimulating the dopamine response in your brain, and the pleasure transmitter will come down and tell you, oh, it's like, give you a happy feeling during that moment. Even if you're going through a stressful time in your life, you're still going to get that euphoric moment while you're eating it, because when you're eating it, you don't think about anything else. You're just eating the food. And how the cliche of, oh, I'm going to drown my sorrows in a carton of ice cream. Well, that's because you don't want to feel sad or depressed or whatever it is you're feeling, and you're going to eat it, and while you're eating it, I mean, kind of mindfully think about it next time you do it, because it's really weird, how it makes you feel while you're eating it. And, after you get this happy feeling, you want more of that happy feeling, or you want more of that calm feeling, or you want more, So then what happens is the downward spiral follows, and along with digestive issues, what I've experienced, from eating totally clean for a while, and then you go back to eating garbage, you have digestive issues, bloating, or you have IBS, or you're contributing to it causes depression, memory loss, mood swings, and that is direct response to eating processed foods, and it is all related, and it's a vicious cycle. And you pick up foods for quick energy when you're feeling a crash. It's like, oh, I'm going to eat this protein bar. Some of these protein bars are good, but some of them, if you look at it, it's more calories or just as much as a candy bar. And so mindfully watch kind of what you're picking up and doing, and see, how that changes things now that you kind of I'm educating myself, and so I'm noticing this more and more. And so then you go and you eat more to just keep up with your energy cycle, or you go get that latte, or you go get whatever, to help. Oh, because I'm feeling low at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or whatever it is. So in reality, however, we're becoming more sluggish, and we're poisoning our bodies, and it's not good, because you're addicted to this processed food, and you keep eating it to feel better and better, and really it's a downward spiral, and we're hurting ourselves is what's happening, and contributing to diabetes, cancer, and all these things that will come up because of eating too much processed food. I mean, God put everything on the planet for us to eat, or Mother Nature, or whatever you want to call it. It's all out there. If you want to feel alive, then you eat live food, and that is the only reason. People don't go vegan for any other reason than educating themselves, unless I shouldn't say that, because people are very advocate, about the cruelty of animals in the animal industry of that nature. But I strictly started eating a vegan diet when I'm really on top of it, strictly for health reasons, and health reasons alone, and only because through education and trying other things. And like I said, I mean, I'm on my way there, but I'm not quite 100% there yet, and this is my journey through that. So the more you eat nutrient-dense foods, the less you're going to have cravings, and the less your brain is going to remember that it's not going to send those messages as often to tell you to eat the junk. I mean, so the more nutrient-dense food you eat, and the more mindful you are about it, just know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You will not crave those foods once you start eating it. Because I know when I'm on a really good roll of eating super healthy, I could look at that piece of cake or look at that candy bar, look at that and say, I don't really want that. Because my brain was finally getting what it needed, and it stopped sending those signals, that pleasure signal. Oh, that, the memory is changing that it once had, because the brain remembered, oh, you ate that and you felt good. Well, it's remembering to change. So this is how, after you kind of have a background and know about it, about the food, don't beat yourself up. It is not your fault that you're addicted to those things or that you want those things. It's the brain telling you that. And the food industry, they're creating chemicals in the food that make you addicted to the food. So this is how the laws of attraction apply, how you can just start mindfully telling yourself things that are going to make you feel good about yourself. And I wrote some of mine down to share with you, because I don't have them memorized yet, but I'm mindfully saying these things every day, and it really is helping to stay away from stuff. Like, for instance, every time I wake up, I start saying these things. I'm aware that my life is getting better and better, and I strongly believe that I attract only love, health, and happiness. And then I'm also saying, I love exercise. I love how I feel after I exercise. This form of exercise I love is dancing, and I love how I feel when I do that. I'm worthy and worth it to take care of myself and to be healthy. I am worthy of that. I can feel myself getting slimmer each day, and I love my body, how I feel. I'm thankful that I have the mindset and the health to achieve my goals. So those are some of the things that I've been saying over and over every day, about 3 or 4 times a day, and it's really helping. That is how you apply the laws of attraction for weight loss, and to apply that to some of the education that I'm learning about the food. And it is such a freeing feeling to know that it's not your fault. It is not your fault why you do what you do and why you eat those types of foods. It's really not. So start just stopping yourself and tell yourself, okay, I'm worthy of this. I am worthy to feel healthy. I am worthy to be loved. I am worthy of loving myself. And I promise you things will change, because applying this to my life and saying these things out loud, like I said, say things that are true and say things that you want to be true, and apply it to your life. And I promise you will feel better, and you will get past this rough road in your journey, and you will be on to a healthier life. And that is what's happening with me right now. And it's just like, it's a process, and there's going to be bumps in the road. And I just want everybody to come along this journey with me that needs help along the way. And thank you for taking the time to listen to me. And I know I'm done rambling now, but I will see you Thursday with a recipe video, and next Monday. So have a good night, and talk to you later. Bye.